Hello and welcome to the University of Law. In a first for the channel, I'm actually reviewing today a piece of BBC merchandise, which is the Shada Steelbook from, I believe, 2017. I'm not going to be talking about the Tom Baker version though today. I'm saving that for my review at some point. I hope to review of the Season 17 collection box set. So what this is about is the reason why I bought this steelbook and the reason why I've kept it despite Shada being included on the Season 17 box set. And that's because when this was announced, I wasn't too fussed. I liked the idea that they were doing it. I was glad they were doing it, and there's lots of fans who wanted it and were going to buy it. However, I had the 1992 version on DVD, and I wasn't too fussed because, for me, the definitive version of Shada at the time was the 8th Doctor version, which was a webcast released in 2003, and I used to watch it over and over and over again on the BBC website. The audio was produced by Big Finish, and the visuals by the BBC. And what I loved about it was a chance to just to have some more visual 8th Doctor stories, because, you know, for years the only visual 8th Doctor stories were the TV movie and the Shada webcast, until we got Night of the Doctor. But still, the bulk of the 8th Doctor on-screen material is actually in the Shada webcast. So I absolutely loved that, and to me that was the complete version, the definitive version. And although I really like the look of this and the fact that they got Tom Baker back to film some bits and they got the cast back to record the audio, etc., for me the definitive version was the 8th Doctor version. However, what's great is that when they finally finished the Tom Baker version, they renamed the 8th Doctor version Return to Shada, because there's a bit at the start of the webcast where it essentially explains how both versions can coexist, which is that the 4th Doctor and Romana and K9 originally did the adventure of Shada. Then, during the 5 Doctors, because Tom Baker wasn't in the special, they used footage from the incomplete at the time Shada to explain his disappearance. What that means is that in the 5 Doctors, Barusa plucked the 4th Doctor out of his timeline during Shada, and so the events of Shada never happened. They were unwritten. So the 8th Doctor has to go back and redo the adventure because it wasn't done when it should have been done in the 4th Doctor's time, because of the events of the 5 Doctors changing the timeline. So that's a really interesting concept, and it means that both stories, both versions can coexist. Now, I bought this because at that time, for me, the definitive version of the McGann version is the webcast, and at the time you could only see that by going online. So I'd never bought the Big Finish CD, I'd simply watched it online when I wanted to see it. This steelbook. So when I wasn't aware about the steelbook. Originally I just saw the DVD and Blu-ray, and that just had the Tom Baker version on. But this steelbook has a 3rd disc with the Paul McGann version on. It's the only time we've ever had a physical media release of the Paul McGann Shada. I've been given a voucher by someone recently at the time, and I just went and bought this from Amazon, pre-ordered it straight away. I loved the Tom Baker version, but I'll talk about that another time. I'm here to talk about the McGann version. So what you've got is the steelbook. We've got the J card here, which has got some lovely artwork of Tom Baker on the back, and you can see we've got the bonus features listed here, and disc 3, not sure if you can see, bring it a bit closer, it says Shada 2003 sequel webcast there on disc 3, along with the 1992 VHS version. So there we have it. So when you open the steelbook up, we've got Tom Baker and K9 on the front, we've got Romana on the back. When you open it up, you've got your 2 discs for the Tom Baker version, feature length and bonus. Got a little booklet talking you through the production. But this is the disc I bought it for. And what's great now is that the Season 17 box set is on my 4th Doctor part of my shelf, which has got the definitive 4th Doctor version. And this sits neatly after the Mary Shelley Big Finish trilogy on my shelf, because that's when it's set, because he references Mary Shelley in this episode, which means it's set after that. So essentially it's TV movie, then it's the Company of Friends with the comic and book stuff, then it's the Mary Shelley trilogy, then it's Shada, and then it's the Charlie Pollard stuff. So that's how I've got it organised on my shelf. So what you've got here is an extras disc, as I say. If I kind of peel it back, if I can, there we go. We've got Starfield there. It's lovely watching it on physical media. Obviously you get a better quality, you get the best possible quality, because it's the file as it should be read. The audio is absolutely fantastic, as with all Big Finishes, well acted, well performed, well directed. Great chemistry between Paul McGann and Lana Ward, and John Leeson, of course. Some brilliant guest cast, some lovely recasting from the original Shada, completely new cast, in fact. And obviously we've got the John Leeson K9 rather than the David Riley K9. But yeah, and some lovely scenes of the Eighth Doctor on Gallifrey, his only visual appearance ever on Gallifrey. Lovely prologue there. But yeah, no, it's a really wonderful story. It's well paced. Some lovely kind of callbacks to previous stories in there. My favourite bit is the chase scene on the bicycle. It's just wonderful just to see the Eighth Doctor in that situation in his Edwardian gear cycling down Cambridge with that orb following him. It's just wonderful. It just, as I say, the audio is brilliant. It's well directed as always. The visuals, it's flash animation, so it's not, you know, the quality that you're going to see from something like Disney, for example, but you get so lost in the story you forget that, and that scene is beautifully, well, it's all beautifully drawn, but that scene is beautifully drawn and directed, and there's so much energy to that scene with the audio, with the music, with the pictures. The opening, the bit with Gallifrey, is really moody, really moodily kind of lit in terms of the drawings. But yeah, some lovely callbacks later. There's some cameos from Ice Warriors, imprisoned at Shada, that kind of thing, if you sort of keep your eyes peeled. There's a lovely montage where you see the previous faces of the Doctor rolling into the Eighth Doctor. So some really lovely callbacks. It's just a wonderful, wonderful story. And yeah, to me, it will always be the definitive Shada because it was the first Shada I ever saw. It was the first complete Shada I ever saw. And it's just lovely getting an extra couple of hours of visual McGann content. So if you do get a chance, I'm not sure if it's still on the website because I'm using this now, but if you do get a chance either to buy this or to watch it online, I definitely recommend the Paul McGann version of Shada. And maybe at some point, you never know, we might get a Wilderness Years collection box set which might include it. But yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Click like if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. And thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.